Good evening, everybody, and welcome. In case you do not know me, I am Dr. Dwayne Dice, and I'm the founder and CEO of Education Solutions International. And I really want to welcome you to this awesome presentation that we have for you this evening or this afternoon, which whatever wherever you are in the world. So, this evening we have the Back to School Essential 2025. And this is an annual event that we have for educators across the globe, especially the ones who are in our Caribbean region, to get us prepared, starting to think about some of the ideas that you can implement or grapple with as you prepare your students for the year. It's very important that we work together collaboratively to get this planning and initiative in place for our students. So, welcome to the Back to School Essentials workshop. We have with us on our platform many people who are doing the work in the region. We want to welcome the president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, Mrs. Sharon Kelsick. And we also want to welcome the president of the JTA, the Jamaica Teachers Association. And he is Mr. Mark Malarva. And also, we want to welcome Mrs. Dorothy Gale Thompson, and she is the project implementation manager at eLearning Jamaica, and our very own Dr. Noel Gordon, and he is our chief academic officer here at ESI, Education Solution International, as well as one of our dear friends, Mr. Mikhail McKenzie, and he is at the Ocherius High School. He is going to look at enhancing your toolkit, where you look at instructional technology and how that impacts the education tools that we use in our school. So welcome everyone, and we're very happy to have you on. We want to share the platform with you, making sure that you have space to ask questions. And at the end of it, this is very important. Whether you are on Zoom or on YouTube, you will have the platform that we will answer your questions. So drop your questions in the chat, whether you're on Zoom or YouTube. But the important part of it is that you will get a certificate of attendance at the end of this workshop if you complete the end of course survey that we will drop in the chat, whether you're on YouTube or Zoom. We're going to drop that in the chat, and you complete it by tomorrow morning, anytime from now until tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time, which is 7 a.m. Jamaica time. Once you completed that within that time frame, then you will have your certificate of attendance for this one to go in your portfolio, your professional portfolio. And I'm thinking that's probably the first one for the year. So welcome everybody. Education Solutions is an important part of our life. We founded Education Solutions International in 2022, January 2022. And we have one mission, is to support schools and school leaders in order to support students right across the globe. That's what the international stands for there. So we want to partner with schools, and we want to partner with unions. We want to partner with associations to make sure that our students are benefiting. But in order for our students to benefit, our teachers and our school leaders have to benefit from the resources that can be shared right across the globe. It's very important, again, that we work together. So let us open up and get some other persons here. I want to say welcome again to the president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, and she is Mrs. Sharon Clifton Kelsick. She's my dear friend over there in, I don't know if she's in Antigua or wherever she's in the region. We're going to have her now bring greetings on behalf of the union.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm in Antigua.
you.
I'm confirming that I am in sunny Antigua. It's very
Okay.
hot over here right now. So I am in Antigua, and it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. I have known the diocese now for, I met them in 2022. So it's been a little while. Yes, and we've worked together. For a bit, I attended one of the conferences in New York, the School Leaders Conference, and that was life-changing. And so we are happy to partner with you. I am happy to continue the work of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, of all those who've gone before me, and to continue partnering with you. I'm excited for what we could potentially do in the next 2 years, hopefully 4. And so I just want to say good afternoon to all your guests today, all your participants. I hope you have a good session today. I'm confident it will be a good session. And so all the best. Good luck to those who have already gone out to school and those who are preparing. I know here in Antigua, we're preparing to go back to school. Our teachers return on Monday, and then our students return to school on the 8th of September. And so I'm hoping that I could pick up a few things myself that I could share with my colleagues here in Antigua. So thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to this afternoon session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Kalsik. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, let's turn over to the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mr. Mark Malava. He's checking in from Jamaica and bringing us greetings on behalf of the union, the Jamaica Teachers Association. Welcome, Mr. Mark Malava.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Okay, let me begin by thanking you, Dr. Dice, for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to bring greetings on behalf of the Jamaica Teachers Association. In many respects, our association not just treats with matters of unionism, but this is also in us to treat with matters of professional development and advancement of our teachers. The nature of education is one which you have to constantly be updating yourselves and improving oneself. And that is what this is about. And I want to just, as an important partner with Dr. Dice, I just want to say to you that, kudos to you. Continue to do the good work that you're doing, and we look forward to more partnership.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, and we're ready and earnestly willing to support your leadership throughout this year and beyond this, even beyond your presidency, because we know it's a term limit. In some cases, a sad case that it is, but that's how it is. I'm gonna put somebody on the spot before our academic chief comes on. I see Mr. Scott, Mr. Arthur Scott from St. Lucia. He is the president of the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School, and I know I'm putting him on the spot, but he's ready. He's ever ready to bring greetings to on behalf of the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. If he could just grace us with his words and presence. Go ahead, Mr. Scott. Good to see you.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry for my attire. I did not think I would be put on the spot, but
I know. Yeah.
Greetings from the association from St. Lucia as well as in my position as president. It's nice being here, and it's nice to know that we can meet as educators, even as we look at the future of education. And as we are beginning this new term, it is good that we can come and share with the various tools that are available, that we can, have a common vision. Because right now we know that things are getting tougher and tougher. And so it is good that we can be together, we can collaborate to make things better. So thank you for having me. And it's nice being here, and I look forward to a meaningful engagement this evening.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, my dear brother, and we'll talk very, very soon.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. All right. Let's turn over to Dr. Noel Gordon. Dr. Noel Gordon is our Chief Academic Officer at ESI, and he's going to talk to us about the runnings of ESI before we get into our first workshop, because we have 3 sessions to run with you guys this afternoon. I hope that will prepare you for, of course, it's not enough, but it will give you some capacity to think through as you prepare for the year. Dr. Gordon, it's good to have you. I know you're on vacation and we pulled you out for a little while.
It's a
So,
pleasure.
yes, take over, please.
It's a pleasure. I'm not able to highlight this PowerPoint they're having some issues here at the hotel, but I'm able to convey to you what I'd like to share with you. Hoping everyone is doing well. I'm excited to be a part of this movement. And what I'd like to do at this point in time is to sort of give you a synopsis of our organization, Education Solutions International, and what we are planning to do and what is our goal as far as professional development is concerned. So we have several focus areas. The first one is literacy and numeracy. Second one is STEM education. Then social emotional learning, which is so very, very vital, because if we are not well mentally, then we are not able to learn. Then we talk about inclusive education, and then educational leadership and community engagement. As far as literacy and numeracy is concerned, we want to sort of engage in programs that will enhance literacy and math instruction to integrate culturally responsive practices and build student confidence. In terms of STEM education, we want to promote inquiry-based learning, real-world application, and hands-on experiment. I remember one of our school superintendents said to me once, math should not be taught just as an abstract construct, but we should do project-based learning so that our students can relate it to real-life experiences. With social emotional learning, we want to integrate SEL into instruction. We want to support resilience and cultivate a positive school climate. That is an absolute necessity. In terms of inclusive education, we want to support diverse learning needs and promote accessibility and to implement individualized education plans. I understand that in the United States, where I spent 28 years in education, we have sought to manage to establish a whole institution around students with special needs. I know that sometimes in some countries in the Caribbean, it's not as intentional, or the resources are not in place, but we want to make sure that we provide resources that we can able to help in that area. And as far as leadership is concerned, we want to be able to strengthen instructional leadership to build school community partners and promote data-driven decision making. And all of that, I know it's not new to you, but this is something that we'd like to enhance. We want to take a look at pedagogical approaches to implement evidence-based teaching methods and differentiated instruction. I've gone to many conferences and we talk about differentiated instruction, but after a while we realize what rigor is and what differentiated instruction is. When you use your data, you can analyze your data and you can find ways to determine where students have needs, to utilize universal design for learning to meet diverse students' needs, and also grow in the area of enhancing classroom management techniques for positive learning environments. And that's one of the things I want to speak about later on. And one of the topics I'm asked to speak on, I'll expand on that some more. Technology integration. We want to be able to incorporate digital tools to enhance learning experiences. Of course, we understand that there are economic challenges in various countries, but we want to make sure that we are practical and realistic in how we approach that. And we'd like to participate in the training of educators to effectively use learning management systems. I remember I was observing teachers and the internet system went down and they were involved in using technology. And I visited several, I tried to visit all the classrooms. I didn't get to all the classrooms. You would be amazing to know that there were certain teachers who were locked down. They weren't able to teach without the use of the technology. The math teacher was able to do it. The science teacher was able to do it, but there are other teachers who were not able to do it effectively. So we have to teach them how to use, integrate knowledge, but also how you should be able to pivot. And also want to promote digital literacy among students and teachers. I'm coming close to the end of this segment. Then we want to talk about restorative practices and cultural competencies. I'll be expanding on this a little more later on. To establish restorative practices to build the community and resolve conflict, to train educators to facilitate restorative circles and reducing exclusionary discipline. All right. And to promote multicultural education, respect for diversity, and equity in learning environments. And basically, this is the mission of ESI. ESI has a mission is to empower every student and every educator to achieve educational success in our schools and through partnerships, through collaboration, through professional development and support. We're not coming in with a hammer and a nail. We're coming in to enhance what's already there so we can collectively learn. And our vision is to create learning opportunities to support growth and impact in every learning community committed to education and around the world. All right, thank you. This is just it in a nutshell, and we'll get back to you at some point in time.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Gordon. We're gonna have Dr. Gordon in a couple seconds to start off because
Um,
we want to
Doc-
have him first on
Dr.
here.
Dice,
Yes.
is it possible to not have me first so we can work on a little bit of logistics?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's totally
Okay.
fine. Yes. All right. So as Dr. Gordon said that if you want to know more about us, visit our website at edusolutionsintl. That's edusolutionsintl.org, .org or .com. We'll get you there. Also, if you want to write to us, you have our email address is edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. And the reason why I'm mentioning the website is for all of us to check out the services that we offer, we provide. One of the many services that we offer is website hosting, building and hosting, so we can help to establish your website as a school system or a unit or an association. Build a website at a fraction of the cost that you're spending with other people. You're paying them to do it. We can do it at a fraction of the cost. And you can have your website up as beautiful as anybody else or even better, and if you just talk to us and we can get that up for you. We also do low cost services for schools, professional development sessions. As much as you might think, we work within the budget and we are very, very affordable, more than people around you. We have certain publications coming out, and some of them have to do with building your own professional development culture in your school, and that will help you to enhance the productivity of the teachers and even staff too in the schools. So that's important to us. All right. So since Dr. Gordon is not going to be on at first, we're going to jump to let's go to Mr. Mikhail Mackenzie to lead us in our first session. Mr. Mackenzie is an industrial technology teacher at Ocho Rios High School. He's also the past president of the parish, JTA parish president of St. Anne. And I admire him because St. Anne is my parish where I grew up in St. Anne, and I love St. Anne. Not because of the beautiful beaches, but because of the people and the the things that Saint Anne gave to me as an individual. So we look out for Saint Anne a whole lot. And of course, Bob Marley is from Saint Anne and Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey is a son of the soil of Saint Anne. So we want to welcome Mr. Michael Mackenzie, JP, which is Justice of the Peace. For those of us who are in America, is the same as Notary Public. All right. Welcome, my dear brother.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Dr.
Yes.
Dice, my good friend.
Yes,
And I
yes.
must say that you have been representing the parish of St. Anne very well.
Of course.
Yeah, man, thank you very much for the invitation. And I must commend you for the wonderful work that you have been doing, hosting workshops such as these for the benefit of teachers. And I hope that you'll continue to, go from strength to strength, you and your company.
Yeah,
So
it's the people around me really doing it, Yeah, I'm just a guy who pressed a button. It's the people around me doing it.
Well, you have a good team, man, and no doubt you are a good leader, hence why they, support you so well. Yeah, so good evening and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our workshop. I was expecting to go second, but I understand the situation. All right, so as Dr. Dai stated earlier, this presentation is about the use of technology and enhancing our toolkit as we take on the challenges of this new school year. The thing is that technology is fastly advancing, and as educators, we must get on board with this advancement. It is true that our students sometimes, if we're not careful, they will be more advanced or far more advanced than us when it comes on to the use of technology. And so it is incumbent on us to ensure that we keep abreast with the advancement of what is taking place. One such advancement is the advent of artificial intelligence, AI. And I know that many of us as educators have been utilizing AI in a expansive way. And AI, it enables us it makes our work easier as educators, gives us more time for ourselves when we utilize it. And so for the presentation this evening, I am going to focus largely on artificial intelligence and how we can utilize artificial intelligence in our classrooms, and also to some of the various AI tools that are available for our usage. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see it, Doc? See my screen?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so as was said before, that artificial intelligence, it is transforming the landscape of education, and it is empowering educators to develop their skills, enrich learning experiences, and implement more effective assessment practices. And then we are encouraged to embrace and utilize AI. So this presentation now will explore the multifaceted role of AI in shaping the future of teaching and learning. It is true that for AI to have maximum effectiveness in the classroom, it is important that administrators get on board with some of the tools and not just individual teachers. But it is also true that as individual teachers, even if our administration is not on board whole scale, we can utilize AI, individual classroom spaces, which can also enhance the effectiveness of our delivery and of how we interact with our students. Now, some of the benefits of using AI, as this presentation will outline. So that's one. The first thing we'll look at the benefits. We're going to also look at how to enhance learning experiences with AI, how to use various AI tools, challenges and considerations with AI, overcoming some of these challenges and considerations, and also the future possibilities of AI in education. Now, what are some of the benefits of using AI? Here are some of them. One, AI enables personalized learning experiences tailored to individual student needs. So you have AI tools that will look at a student and will meet them at the level that they are at and craft strategies or craft lessons in such a way that it will meet them at their level. There's also efficient feedback. AI systems that provide timely and detailed feedback to students, improving their overall performance. And also, it offers data-driven insights. It helps educators analyze student data to identify patterns and optimize teaching strategies. Also, it gives algorithms that can personalize education content to match each student's learning style. I said that before, interest and space. There are also numerous AI tools that offers simulations. So for example, you want to, you're teaching a lesson about the heart, or maybe about a car engine, and you don't have, for example, a heart, a human heart, at your location, or a car engine at your location. You can use simulations. So you have AI tools that will explore the human heart, let it appear real in front of the students, show it inside of it and the various parts that makes up the human heart. And the same thing for the engine. So you don't necessarily have to have the physical instrument, physical tool, or physical part in front of you to have your students see the real life, or to see it and experience it in real life. You have simulations that AI offers to do so. You also have AI chatbots and virtual assistants, and these provide 24/7 support, answering questions, offering guidance, and facilitating independent learning. Some of the examples of AI in education, you have AI tutoring systems. And some of these systems, in the uh, last paragraph, you have Carnage Learning, Micah, and it's an AI tutor that helps students learn math by providing step-by-step explanations and adapting to their learning pace and preferences. So what you realize is that math, that's an area that many of our students struggle in. And when you look at the maths passes in Jamaica and in the Caribbean by extension, it is not so encouraging. I think we'd have seen some improvement this year, but there's still a vast, amount of area that you need to cover in order to get our students up to par, especially with leading systems, education systems in the world when it comes on to mathematics. So this is one tool that will let mathematics come to life and for students to grasp mathematical concepts more readily. There's also AIs that cater to adaptive learning systems, and you have ALEKS, Assessment and Learning in Knowledge Spaces, and this is an adaptive learning platform that assesses students' knowledge and provide targeted instruction in maths, chemistry, and other subjects. You also have content creation tools. So you have, and I'm focusing mostly on the latter paragraph on these slides in the view of time. So you have Quillianes and EduAid uses AI to generate quiz questions from textbooks, text-based content, such as articles or textbooks, helping teachers create assessments quickly and effectively or efficiently. So these are tools that we can utilize when it comes on to creating quizzes for our students for us to assess our students in the classroom. And earlier we talked about the virtual reality. So students don't have to be in go to a physical location or go into a physical space to experience something. They can experience it through virtual reality. And this is one of those programs that we can utilize. We have S-Space, provides AR and VR solutions for education, allowing students to explore virtual simulations of scientific concepts or historical events in a hands-on manner. And then you also have, and when it comes down to grading systems, you also have Grade Scope and EduAid, automates the grading of handwritten and programming assessments using AI, speeding up the grading process and providing detailed feedback to students. In Jamaica here, and I heard the Minister of Education saying recently that they are working to develop AIs that will help us when it comes on to grading, marking papers and grading them. So no doubt this is one of them that they will utilize. But we, on our own, can also, explore this. And what we realize with AI, they are not difficult to utilize. It just sometimes just takes a little practice on our part, a little playing around with the AI systems, and we'll be frighteningly surprised that we get it, grasp it readily and easily. And then now we have chatbots and virtual assistants, and many of us no doubt are familiar with these ones. Examples of these include ChatGPT and Gemini, and these are used by educational institutions to create AI-powered chatbots and assist students with enrollment processes, course selection, and general inquiries. And so now I am going to take a few minutes of the time that I have remaining to examine some of the AI tools that I and other teachers here in Jamaica would have been utilizing, and we find them to be very, very helpful and saves a lot of time. Now, one of the tasks as an educator that takes up a lot of our time is writing and assessing lesson plans, and we are encouraged to make this process easier. And one way we can do so is by utilizing AI to write our lesson plans. And one such AI that I have used and many persons have been using is what we call ChatGPT. And by now, many of us should be familiar with using ChatGPT. But in order to get the most out of ChatGPT, we must be very specific with what we ask it to do. Because with AI systems, they give you what you ask them. So the more specific you are, the more pleased you will be with the responses coming from AIs. So I'm going to stop share the screen a bit, and I'm going to go over to another page. Just give me a few minutes as I navigate this. Page, I'm going to go over to ChatGPT. So let me share that. So here we are in ChatGPT. Now, this is creating a ChatGPT page is not our account is not difficult, and sometimes we may have a tendency to lose passwords. We can just sign up with our Google account, and each time we want to sign in, it automatically remembers our details. All right, so we're going to utilize ChatGPT now to write a lesson plan. So I'm going to for this instance be a grade 5 teacher. Maybe most of our educators here, the participants here, are maybe teaching at the primary or elementary school level. So I'm going to be a grade 5 teacher, and I'll be a science teacher. And can somebody just quickly tell me one of the topics that you teach in science at the grade 5 level? Someone can raise their hand and tell me.
Or drop it in the chat.
Or drop it in the chat.
Yeah, force and motion, somebody said. Thank you, Mortifa. Force and motion. Morticia.
Good afternoon. I normally greet it, and if you say good afternoon, it will respond to you, because it's conversational. Yeah, so good afternoon, how are you doing today? And I won't bother to respond with it. I just tell them what I ask it, I tell it what I wanted to help me with this afternoon. So I am a teacher of grade 5. Grade 5. Let's see. And so I'm a teacher of grade 5. I'm currently teaching science, and I want you to help me to write a lesson plan. The topic I am covering is force and motion. I want this plan to be in the 5E format. All right.
Mhm.
And here it creates our lesson plan for us. And it is writing it in the 5E format. Suppose we're not pleased with what we get, we can ask it to adjust. So suppose here now, I'm not seeing the objectives, so I'm going to ask it to include 5 objectives.
Mhm.
All right, so include objectives here. All right, and again, if we go through this plan, the objectives are separate. I'm going to ask you to combine the objectives now with the rest of the plan. All right, and add the objectives to it. And I suppose now at the end of the lesson, we want it to give us an assessment. We can also ask it to create an assessment for this lesson. So create an assessment. And if we wanted to, for example, create assessment in terms of maybe a variety, multiple choice, maybe short answer, and so forth, true and false, we could ask it to do that as well. And in this case, it gives us some true and false questions. Well, short answer define force in your own words. They give 2 examples of force, all right, fair enough, and also application as well. And if you wanted to create also the answer key to these questions, we can ask it to also create the answer key to these questions. So that's one thing we can utilize, or one AI we can utilize when it comes on to writing our lesson plans. We can also utilize AI, ChatGPT for other means. Suppose we want to, one of the things that as educators we do a lot of times is to write letters for our students, recommendations. Again, we can utilize AI to write recommendations instead of sitting down and write a recommendation from scratch. AI can assist us. And what we find is that, sometimes what AI present to us is the very same thing that we would have utilized or would have written, if we would have sat down to write that recommendation from scratch. So let me just take a few more seconds, not moving from ChatGPT yet, and ask it to write a recommendation for me for a student. And I'm going to specify areas that I want it to cover in the recommendation. Okay. All right, so let me go again. So I am a teacher at, I'm going to use Ocho High School at this time. And school, I need to write a letter of commendation. Select what I am. Commendation for, I'm going to use Omar Jones. Omar Jones. So Omar is in grade 10, and he currently serves as a prefect, as a prefect. Prefect. Omar is a member of the school's debating team. He's disciplined. I can leave it at that. And ask it to put together a recommendation for us. And so now he's putting together the recommendation. So talks about the fact that it's a pleasure to recommend Omar, a grade 10 student at OTS High School, also a young man who constantly demonstrates discipline, responsibility, and leadership. At his time at school, currently serves as a prefect, who carries out his duties and with integrity and commitment, and so forth and so on. And again, if you're not so pleased with this recommendation, again, you can ask it to make adjustments for you, and it will gladly make adjustments for you. So that's it. I mean, and there are many other aspects of ChatGPT that we can utilize, again, to make our work lighter as educators. We can use it to write memos for those of us who are school leaders. We can use it to write memos. Again, if we want to write a memo to our teacher, maybe to commend them, or maybe to warn them, again, be specific with our prompt, that AI know what we're warning them specifically about, or what we're commending them specifically about, and it will put together something for us. Again, and it is also important, before I forget, that we read through whatever is presented to us, so that we can ensure that it captures what we want it to capture. All right, so that's one tool that I have been utilizing, and many teachers in Jamaica have been utilizing, again, to make their job easier. AI, ChatGPT can also write assessments. As we saw before, it wrote an assessment based on a lesson plan. But if you wanted to write an assessment that is not based on a lesson plan, again, ask it to do so, and it will do so for us. So I'm going to stop on ChatGPT for now, and I'm going to move along. I have more time, Doc. I wasn't timing myself.
Oh yeah, you're doing well. You're doing well. You can do, Missy, another 10 minutes.
All right, no problem.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk now about Magic School AI. Magic School AI is another tool that many of us in Jamaica have been utilizing, and we have found it to be very beneficial to us, especially when it comes on to videos. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right, so here's Magic School AI. And again, these AI tools are free. I'm showing you the free ones. So here's the dashboard for Magic School AI. Again, creating these pages are not difficult, and you don't have to worry about memorizing their password. You can use a Google account to do so. When you look at Magic School AI now, some of the things that we are seeing here, we are seeing worksheet generator, lesson plan, multiple choice quiz assessment, text rewriter, presentation generator. It uses generate presentations, including slides and all of that. It uses for professional email, writing feedback, rubric generator, especially for those who are in the high school. When they give our students presentations, we don't just want to give them the presentation with a topic that they must present on, but want to present a rubric, that they will be graded based on. This can help us to do so, and I've utilized it especially when it comes on to teaching my sixth form and with 11 students that I require for them to do a lot of presentations. Can be used to respond to email, can be used to write unit plan, it can be used to summarize text. If you want to even write songs, it can be used to write songs and so on and so on. So it's very wide and expansive. So this is an AI tool that we can look at and explore some more. I'm going to use it. I'm going to talk about YouTube video questions. So here we are. So I suppose we want to show our students a YouTube video, and at the end of the video, we want to ask them some questions, and even maybe assign a grade. Maybe it could be a pop quiz, where we ask them questions based on the video. This can help us to do so. So I'm going to go over to YouTube, and I won't come off this, but let me go back to Magic School. All right, so I'm going to select a grade. Let me go to grade 7. Types of questions I want this to generate. Multiple choice. Number of questions I want to generate. Maybe 10 multiple choice questions. All right. And then now, I'm going to go on YouTube, and I'm going to find a video that I want them to watch and to answer the questions on. So I'm going to go over to mathematics now, and I'm going to find a video on fractions. So in YouTube, I'm going to type in fractions for grade 7. And I'm going to find a video that explains fractions for grade 7s. I'm going to copy the link for that video. And I'm going to come back to Magic School AI now. And I'm going to paste that link inside inside my inside my thing here. Paste. So let me go back. So it's grade 7. Let's make some adjustments here. Grade 7. Multiple choice, number of questions, 10. So I've pasted my link inside, and I'm going to ask it to generate and see what happens. All right, so based on the video that the students would have watched and that I would have played for them, and they would have watched it, I would have generated some multiple choice questions based on the video. And then now, so this will to test if they were paying attention to the video. And then it gives me my 10 multiple choice questions, and it also gives me my answer key to these questions. All right, so again, this is another tool we can utilize, Magic School AI. And as we saw before, that it is very expansive, very detailed, and it covers a wide array of things that are important to us as educators. Another one I want to do, which will take me about 3 more minutes, Doc, is when it comes on to creating PowerPoint. And we have been utilizing, here in Jamaica, we've been utilizing Gamma and Canva. But I'm going to spend some time on Gamma AI and use it to create a PowerPoint presentation. So let me go to find where I had Gamma open now. As a matter of fact, this PowerPoint presentation that I'm utilizing, it was created by Gamma. So let me share back my screen. Yeah, so yeah. So all the PowerPoints that I've created using Gamma before, I'm going to go here, create new AI. Can also create from blank. So you can select the, the type of background you want. So I'm going to sit down and create this one. I'm going to paste notes. Okay. So I'm going to ask it now to create what I wanted to create. Suppose now I go back to energy. I'm going to go back to the science again, grade 7 energy. So I'm going to ask it to create a PowerPoint. Create a PowerPoint for grade 7 students on energy. Create from notes or outline, summarizing long text or documents. And again, the more detailed you are, is the more you get from the from the AI. So here we are now, and this is creating our PowerPoint presentation on energy.
Mhm.
All right, and again, if you wanted to make adjustment for us, we can ask it to make adjustment when it comes on to our PowerPoint. If we want to change the pictures that it gives us, we can also change the pictures as well. So still creating. All right. So again, this again is another tool we can utilize, Gamma AI and Canva. Canva is just as effective as this. And the thing with Canva, the pictures, that it utilizes are more decorative, more appealing, especially to our students. All right. So I'm going to stop here when it comes on to some of the tools that we have. I'm just going to just uh, run through maybe 2 more slides on my presentation, and then I turn back over to Dr. Dice. So where was I now? Okay, here I am. All right. So, and again, there are many other AI tools that we can utilize, to make our work easier or lighter as educators. So let me move to my next slide now. So there are some challenges and considerations that we must take in consideration when we are utilizing AI. I want to touch on safety and security, because AI algorithms can be vulnerable to attacks and manipulation, posing risk to cybersecurity and public safety, safeguarding AI systems against malicious actors, and ensuring robust security measures are in place are essential considerations. So that is one thing we should bear in mind when it comes on to utilizing AI. There's also the tendency to be biased as well, and some of the challenges that AI presents. Uh, I'm touching on privacy concerns. Student data privacy and security are vital aspects that need careful attention and AI integration. So when you're utilizing AI, we have to bear this in mind, especially when it comes on to, Jamaica's privacy and data laws. All right. And also too, when it comes on to the assessment and feedback, it has proven to be 85% accurate in grading. So again, we have to ensure that when we ask AI to do things for us, that we take time to read through and to double check to ensure that it covers what we want it to cover. All right, so that's it for my presentation for this evening. So thank you very much for listening. And I turn back over to Dr. Dice.
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Very good. It's very, very good. I use Gamma myself to organize my own planning. It's very good. And as you said, appealing is very appealing to the eyes. And what I love too about it, because we're focusing on our people. And what I realized with AI, including Gamma too, you can generate images for your PowerPoint and your presentations that reflect Caribbean people. So it's not just the usual, other people, but you reflect your people in the presentations, so that it's more inclusive and diverse in that manner. So it's very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Mackenzie. It's really, really good, and people are loving it too. If you are in Zoom or in YouTube, please drop your questions in the chat. We have some wonderful people here sharing ideas and questions in the chat. On Zoom, on YouTube, you can stay on YouTube if you want to, but drop your questions in the chat and we'll get them answered. A very important thing, and I'm going to be saying this over and over until we're ending. You will get a certificate of attendance once you fill out the end of workshop survey that will be dropped in the chat close to the end of the session. So after the next two presentations, you will get the link in the chat. Make sure you fill that out in order to get the survey of attendance and the certificate of attendance. And that survey link will be dropped in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, I want to call on Miss Dr. Noel Gordon. Dr. Gordon, hoping that you're ready at this time.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, yes, you are very ready. And let me see, Mrs. Dorothy Gill Thompson will come on after you because I know you have to run. I'm sorry to have that mishap and everything else that's happening. So you have to shift your focus.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So, Dr. Noel Gordon, everybody, very short intro. He is the Chief Academic Officer of Education Solutions International, ESI, and he have a wealth of knowledge. He served in the New Jersey School District, public school, for almost 30 years or more, and a mentor for everybody. I think all the men of color I see getting doctoral degrees under his mentorship. So, Dr. Noel Gordon, if you want to probably feel like you want to get into higher education, you get close to him and let it rub off on you, because we have quite a few men who have gotten higher education degrees, and they're very good, very close friends of his, and mentees of his. So I'm going to hand over to him. He's going to be talking to everybody about restorative practices in schools, and this is very important for all of us to establish that type of platform among our boys and our students, our girls too, in our schools. It's very important. So I'm going to give the platform to our expert here.
Thank you, Dr. Dice. I want to greet everyone, and I'm looking forward to this discourse this evening. I've been an educator I've served full-time for 28 years in public education. I run the gamut from a substitute teacher to a guidance counselor. And for 19 years, I served as in central administration in various capacities, from, director of guidance, director of testing, director of curriculum, you name it. But one of the things I've noticed is that
our students continue to display antisocial behaviors, and that impacts the climate and culture. And at the classroom level, it impacts learning. And later on, some of these same students, after they graduate from school, they go on into the world, and the prisons are still open. They're building new prisons. And the products of our educational system, many of them unfortunately end up in the prison system. And some of them, you can't predict what will happen unless there's major intervention. But it seems as if the intervention that we use and that we're accustomed to, it's not really working, that punitive measures, disciplinary action. And also you find that sometimes it's like a temporary reprieve for the teacher. We get the student out of the classroom so you can teach the others. But we're talking about molding lives. And as such, we have to really come up with a systemic approach to see if we can change our approach to discipline. And we've used restorative justice in the penal system on old men and old women. The women prison population is increasing now, but so they talk about bending old trees when we can take a proactive approach. In fact, I was been a guidance director for many years, and I realized that most of our work is reactive work. We have to move into the proactive approach, and restorative justice is something I know that in one country, I know that I think in Jamaica, I was a part of a team that went to a particular school to establish a program there. And there's some semblance of restorative justice. They're trying to implement PBSIS and all of that. However, we want to make sure that this is systemic. If this is something we could sort to introduce across the Caribbean, and we take a systemic approach, the buy-in is also a very big piece. So not everybody buys into it because we believe into the punitive approach. So I want to talk about, for the next 30 minutes or so, I have about 30 minutes. I have that much time, Dr. Dice?
Yeah, roughly, yes.
Roughly, just give me a heads up. It's embracing restorative justice for inclusive, responsible, and accountable school communities. And I'll just be talking about this because there's just so much to it. I'll just be touching the surface. I'll just be touching the surface. So imagine a school where conflicts are opportunities for growth. Isn't that interesting? Conflicts are an opportunity for growth. Mistakes are chances to learn, and every member feels heard, understood, and valued. We know that one of the greatest human needs is to understand and to be understood. Now, this vision rests upon the principles of restorative justice. And that is what we really want to talk about. My objective here for the next 25 minutes or so is to develop a restorative justice framework, talk about it. Of course, ESI has a comprehensive framework, which I know Dr. Dice will share. He might have shared it with us on the website, which we just have to take that and we have to fit it into our system and do the necessary training. But what we want to do at ESI is to develop a restorative justice framework, fostering inclusion, responsibility, and accountability in our K-12 school environment. So it's not just letting kids get off. There's an accountability piece that comes into play. So the primary goal is to really empower staff with an alternative to address the counterproductive behaviors that students display while keeping students in the classroom during instructional time. One of the practices that I saw when I served as a site administrator, and I've worked in all the settings. I've been a site administrator from the K-8 right up to the high school. And what some teachers would do at times when a student disrupts the class, they would send the student to the office. Of course, we have secretaries there. The principal is all over the place. The vice principal is all over the place. But we send the students to the office. And I said earlier, that gives us a temporary reprieve, but we are not educating the child when we send the child out of the classroom. And it might be a temporary relief, but we have to sort of do a little better than that, not just sending them to sit down, because we are legally obligated to educate our children. So restorative justice really is a theory of justice that focuses on mediation. We've done a lot of conflict resolution, conflict mediation, etc. But this takes it a little further. It focuses on mediation and agreement rather than punishment. Mediation and agreement rather than punishment. Of course, we know that the punitive approach, it justifies us and it makes us feel good as educators. It's like sometimes learning and assessment is supposed to check for learning and to inform instructions. But I've seen situations where teacher would say to a child, you watch and see, man, exam is coming up. And then they factor all of that into the final grade, which is not really checking for instruction or checking for learning. It's really a punitive measure. And God knows, sometimes we all want to do that. If you've ever been in the classroom and you're ever a teacher, sometimes you just want to just suck it to them and give them a D because of how they've treated you. But we have to take the moral high ground. So as I said, it focuses on mediation and agreement rather than punishment. And this is really a culture shift for many of us. I've gotten resistance over this. Teachers, we didn't punish a child, but I pulled the child out, we had a conversation, and the child decided to make a change in behavior. So restorative justice in classroom management, it seeks to create a culture of empathy, a culture of understanding, a culture of healing, a culture of accountability. We talk about trauma-informed instruction. Many students come to school and what they have to deal with at home, it's a horrible situation. They come into school already messed up mentally, already upset. And if we don't understand, we can empathize with them and to understand what they've been through. And some of these students are a pain in the neck and you just want to shake them. But one of my principals, when I served as a counselor in one of our schools, he said, see these children as your children. How would you want your child to be treated? It takes a lot of patience, and we're putting a lot of educators. But if we use that as a mantra, how would I like to treat my child? And we treat these children this way, then we might be able to help them. So it has to do with empathy, understanding the culture, knowing that we are there to heal also, because many of them need emotional healing, and at the same time to hold them accountable. So there are 5 principles in restorative justice. 1, relationship. It is said that if you don't have an amicable relationship with the student will probably not learn from you. I still remember, it wasn't in high school, but it was college. I was doing physical chemistry with this teacher. I couldn't stand her in the classroom. And I would just sit in the back. I wouldn't engage her. But when I saw her outside the classroom setting, she was nice, but she was a horrible teacher as far as I was concerned. So I didn't, I had to learn on my own. I got it, but not many students would get it if they don't like the teacher. The teachers don't like them. So we have to seek to first build relationship, respect, mutual respect. I do recall some time ago when I was teaching in a school district, in my early days in education, I was a guidance counselor actually, and this student had a soda and he was hungry. He wanted to drink the soda and the teacher took the soda from him. Now I said to the student, if you ever get in trouble with your teacher, come and see me in my office. Don't hit back. Don't respond with violence. This student came to my office, and then I was trying to calm him down, and the teacher walked to my door, opened the soda, and started drinking the child's drink. That kid rushed out of my office and rushed the teacher and wanted to hit the teacher. Now the teacher came to me and said, I didn't help her. I didn't protect her. I said, you were the one who provoked the students. So we have to sort of, give respect to get respect, and then responsibility, and then repair and reintegration. So these are the 5 principles of restorative justice. Let me give you 2 scenarios. This is a tale of two schools. One is a zero tolerance education system. Oh man, zero tolerance. No, if you slip, you slide. You're gonna be punished. We're not gonna take any form of negativity from you. Then we have another school, restorative practices based education system. Now let's look at the zero tolerance education system. Now the student is greeted by metal detectors and a police search is done. His teacher scolds him in front of the classroom. He talks back, and because he talks back to the teacher, he's given a detention, and the school police officers detains and arrests the student, and you're in detention for the rest of the day. And then the student is held in this juvenile detention facility, which is called suspension room or in-school detention room, all afternoon, missing school. He now has an infraction on his record and is facing out of school suspension. That's the first approach. Now let's take the second approach. The teachers and administrators welcome him and his fellow students as they enter. In fact, one of the things that I told my teachers just before I retired, I just retired June 30th of this year, hallelujah, from public education. But we told the teachers, always be at the door and greet your students with a smile. I remember this particular middle school teacher, she knew all her students by their names, and she would call every student by name as they entered that room. So this is what the restorative practice-based education system teaches. This is what they did in that school. I gave you the zero tolerance education scenario, and I'm giving the restorative practices-based education scenario. The teachers and administrators welcome him and his fellow students as they enter. His teachers waits until after class to speak with him, to learn more, and to set up a meeting with his school counselor. One of the worst things we could do is to embarrass a student or confront the student or discipline the student in front of the class. So the teacher waited until afterwards. Then the student peer mediators and support staff intervene, have the students sit down together and de-escalate the situation. We have to get this into our psyche, the de-escalation piece, all right? So the students and whoever the student had an infraction with, they agree that they can help clean the cafeteria. Now, you see the consequence during their free period. And then the student who was the perpetrator meets his counselor and his parents after school to help resolve the conflict at home. So you see, one of them, let's put it down. I could call teachers' names right now, man, since I was a kid. They're always with the strap. Back in my days, I'm dating myself now. They used to beat us with straps. I got beaten twice in my entire primary school years, and the second time I ran home. But the bottom line, beating was acceptable. But in this situation, there was a consequence. They had to clean up the cafeteria, but there was a chance to have a conversation. So we have to try to institute this practice, this system in our school. Let's take a look at the historical perspective of restorative justice. Restorative justice is a fundamental change in how you respond to rule violations and misbehavior. It's a systemic change, and we all have to buy into it. The typical response to bad behavior is punishment. Right? I have two children. My daughter came when she was 3 years old, came to the United States, and she got a few little spankings from me. I spanked my son once, only one time, because by then I realized that hitting your child might not necessarily be the right thing to do, because I was cultured that way. But my daughter turned out all right. But I'm glad that I was able to change my approach with my son. So the typical response to bad behavior is punishment. Now, restorative justice resolves disciplinary problems in a cooperative and constructive way. And that came from Ron Klassen. Don't just resort to the discipline, but try to talk the situation through. Now, here's an example from a school district in California. The California Oakland United School District began the use of this program in the middle school in 2006. And within 3 years, they had an 87% decrease in suspensions and violence.
Oh, wow.
87% decrease. And I'm telling you, I don't know how it is in the Caribbean islands, but I know that in the United States, in working in suburban and inner city school district, you'll find that certain kids get more disciplinary actions than others. Black and brown children, more of them get suspensions and detention, even though they might not have more infractions than other students.
Mm-hmm.
Prejudice is a thing that doesn't just exist in the white race. We ourselves, sometimes we are prejudiced and we don't even know that we are prejudiced against others. When I was doing the teacher evaluation program, I was certified for it for Danielson, and they did a piece with us on prejudice to check your prejudice quotient, how prejudiced you were. I was shocked to see that I had prejudice in me more than I thought I had. It's really a self-discovery and a purposeful approach in trying to change how we see others and how we judge others. So this was reduced by 87%, and the practice was so successful that by 2011, this school district made restorative justice a new model for handling disciplinary problem. Michael Fullen talks about change, and change is not easy. And you'll always have the laggards, always have those who resist it. But as especially educational leaders, we have to try to reculture, because it's growing pains, but the results will be much more than we anticipated. So this is the approach that this school district took. Restorative justice tier 1, prevention. As I said to you earlier, if we establish these centers and these circles, and we are intentional in teaching conflict resolution and teaching students to say words, their hands to respond to opposition. So we teach prevention. Yeah, we teach prevention, and that should, something is going on here.
No, you're okay now.
Okay, I'm good. Yeah. We should seek to teach prevention. Let it be a part of our culture. And this whole mindfulness piece, which is something else which we're going to be teaching, or we're going to be doing presentations on. Mindfulness is a part of this whole prevent, because if we take care of ourselves, and if we deal with our issues, and if we learn how to communicate, the K-cell model for SEL, social emotional learning, it's really about self-discovery and about how we should really look into ourselves, because sometimes the way we respond to others is based on our own experiences and our negative experiences. But we should seek to prevent. I find the teachers who really get out of their way to be accommodating and to be caring, those teachers have credibility with their students, and students know if you really care about them. They really know. And we have to teach our staff, and we have to sort of cultivate that within ourselves. It's hard to love some children, but we have to come up with a systemic approach. All right, make it a part, like we used to have drop everything and read in my school district. We have to make it a part of our curriculum. Hey, this is the mindfulness moment, and this is a restorative justice moment. How do we make I statements instead of blaming the other person? Okay, let's make an I statement today. This is part of our prompting for today. This is part of our do now. Incorporate into your do now. All right. Yeah. So the second one is intervention. And the intervention should not just be a punitive measure. You can't really win a student by punishing the student. And when we send students home on suspension, guess what? We are really reinforcing negative behavior, because every student wants to be home to watch TV and to not be in school. So when we put them on suspension, they really like it. And the learners who want to do well for themselves, they're not the ones getting in trouble. So they're not happy to be home. But the kids who are the perpetrators, they are the ones who want to be home. And that's not helping them to grow. So, hey, we get a room in your school, dedicate a room and call it the give it a fancy name. Don't let it sound like a prison thing. No, let it sound like a life enhancement room or whatever the case might be. They know that they go in there and someone is going to be there, a teacher who has a period, a free period or whatever. If you have to pay them overage, whatever the case might be, teach them the principles of communication. And that's how you do the prevention. And the intervention now is you address the problem, not just about punitive measure, but have the students do conflict resolution. And the third one is restoration. One of the things that we do in our school district, the last school district that I worked for, when a student came back from punitive measures, from suspension, we don't just send them back to the classroom. The counselors, the support services staff met with them and sought to go through, why did you do this? How could you have done this differently? And what do you think the outcome would be? And how would you handle this if you have this situation imposed upon you in the future? How would you handle it? And then they would meet with counselors over a period, maybe once a week, and they would have assignments and they would have expectations. So we really have to make sure you're back. We don't just throw you in the classroom, the suspension is over. Maybe they're waiting to have another fight because they didn't feel they got justice from the previous student. And so tier one, it's all about the community building as a preventive measure. The teachers or peer facilitators lead students in circles of sharing. A part of the restorative practices is the circles. So much come out of those circles. Students would share so much that's happening on their inside, and and tough students would break down and cry because they knew that someone was listening, and they knew that it was a safe space for them. They open up about their fears, and they talk about their goals, and they become vulnerable. And many students don't have this opportunity at home. And many students don't have this opportunity in their classrooms when they're learning math and English and science. But if we could sort of create this, institutionalize this, where we can bring them together, select some of your tough students and some of your students who are great in terms of behavior. Don't just select the students we consider bad students. You pull students from across, some who are brilliant, some who have academic challenges, some who have behavioral challenges, pull them all together and have these circles and listen. I've seen it work. And you'd be shocked to know that students now build capacity in the area of conflict resolution, in the ability to express themselves, because that's lacking. And sometimes nobody else hears them. And when we get to tier two, it comes into play when students break rules and someone has caused harm to someone else. In the traditional justice, this is when punishment is meted out. You come together, you meet with the vice principal, the principal, you did this, you were wrong, you're going out on 3 days suspension. It's over. With restorative justice, it's not over then. It turns to mediation. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What could you have done differently? And how you're going to handle this in the future? And then we come to the tier three, which aims to help kids whoever been out of school due to suspension, expulsion, I alluded to that earlier, incarceration, or truancy, whatever. Restorative justice projects seek to reduce this tendency of going back into the same kind of behavior by providing what we term a wraparound support environment from the staff. One of the things in my capacity as a director of guidance, we talked about vertical articulation. And when students move from one school to the next or from one class to the next, we ask the teachers to just give us a little synopsis on the child, but we ask them to steer away from behavioral infraction, because sometimes we color the perception of the teacher who's receiving the student. And it's really not fair, because the student had a whole summer. The student could have developed in the area where they were deficient in. But I find that sometimes in the staff room, and I'm not indicting anybody, we will have students who will be the talk. Many teachers, this one and that one. if you're in that space, you need to shut it down. Because I know for me, I was not the best behaving student at all. And if teachers had sought to, tag me that way, and I probably wouldn't have been the person I am today. We have to learn as educators, and I'm not trying to be religious here, and it's not a religious context, it's a real context. We have to learn to give grace to our students, give them an opportunity to make mistakes and give them an opportunity to come back from those mistakes. Restorative justice is a prescriptive approach, and there's a framework for it. I'll be done shortly. There's a framework for it, and there's professional development, because what we do in education, we sometimes have a top-down approach to professional development. We tell the teachers, those who are the agents of change, what we want them to do. But this is supposed to be a collaborative approach. And sometimes we introduce new approaches and we do not provide the professional development. With restorative justice, restorative practice, there is prescriptive professional development. We would train teachers. We also have to reculture our teacher, because I do empathize with the teachers, because sometimes some students are rough, and sometimes some climate and culture is very rough. And it's hard not to want to come down and get the student out of your class, but it takes a little bit of time to address this. So here is the framework. It's a collaborative approach. I have about 8 more minutes, right? A collaborative, 5 more minutes. Thank you. Yes, 5 more minutes. So training, comprehensive training for the staff on restorative principles and practices. Community building circles, regular circles for open dialogue and empathy and understanding. So we'll train the teachers how to facilitate these groups. Then we have restorative conferences. We should facilitate conferences to address conflicts and harm, focusing on repair and learning. This is not just for the kids, because the agents of change are going to be the teachers, the unsung heroes. And then we'll have implementing the restorative language. It's supposed to become a part, like breathing or restorative practices. The tension is no longer the language, or it's going to be restorative justice, encouraging language, focusing on impact and understanding. And then we empower our students, involve students in design and implementation to promote ownership and the buy-in. So you see the collaborative approach that we are talking about. It has to be. It complements positive behavior, intervention and support. I know that many of the schools throughout the Caribbean, you have some system in place already. This is not a replacement of the system that you have. What it does, it provides a deeper understanding and accountability for behaviors. So positive behavior intervention support systems focus on prevention and reinforcement, while restorative justice focuses on repairing harm and restoring relationships. So they coexist. And here are some of the questions that you'd ask in that system. What happened? How did it happen? What part did you play in it? How were you affected by what you did? What can you do to repair the harm? Who else was affected by what you did? And what do you need to make it right? These are the promptings. And you know what we're doing here? We are teaching critical thinking skills. These are high-level questions that we as administrators observe teachers on. These are high-level questions. So if we just take this approach, change school discipline, and just take this slide alone and use this in our interventions, we would have resolved many of the problems. So in conclusion,
yes,
and I just touched the tip of the iceberg. I believe in this. I believe in it because it works. The hope is for the school to foster empathy, responsibility, and accountability through the adoption of restorative justice principles and practices. Let's collaborate to establish a supportive community where every member is valued and encouraged in their journey of growth and learning. So as I close out, I know that this is not an easy task. And I know that the thing that's common to education, every year we come up with something new and we try it and we don't stop to see if it works, etc. But I can guarantee you, if we take this calculated approach and we do it collaboratively, ESI will support you and will lend any kind of support we can to ensure that we have this cultural change and we turn out scholars out of our schools, and our prisons will shut down, and at least we'll have less prisons. Charles is still going to prisons. Thank you so much, Dr. Dice.
Yes, you're welcome. It's very timely, the presentation, because it's the beginning of the year, everyone. Colleagues, it's the beginning of the year, and if we put certain measures in place, then we'll be able to see those measures throughout the rest of the year. We have to start somewhere. We have to start, and the best way to do it is to establish a system at the beginning of the year to see how you're going to deal with discipline, how you're going to do with indiscipline, how you're dealing with discipline on a whole and behavior. So thank you very much, Dr. Noel Gordon, for this presentation. I like restorative practices because it helps us to see the individual student as a person and as a struggling person sometimes, because we're seeing them struggling with behavior, and sometimes it's coming from home. Sometimes it's the home that is it's instilling those types of behavior in students, and then the school have to work very hard to change that. So very good. I hope, let me see, that there's somebody with a comment and a type of a question. Morticia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. I hope you got the strategies, because I was waiting until the end because Dr. Gordon had some strategies. So I hope you got the strategies for students to implement in your classroom, especially when whatever students are going through coming from the home. You can get some of those strategies in place. So thank you so much for the comments, and thank you for the rest of us for the comments as well. So now we are going to shift gears. I want to remind us, before we switch gears here, please drop your questions in the chat, especially people on YouTube. Drop your question in the chat. In Zoom and on YouTube, you will get a link close to the end of the presentation, close to the end of the next one. And that link will lead you to the survey, the end of course survey or end of workshop survey. You're going to fill out that survey and you'll get your certificate of attendance to put in your portfolio for this. So close to the very end of the workshop, you will get the link to fill out the survey for the certificate. If you do not fill out that survey, you are not going to get the certificate, because we want to make sure that people attend the sessions and not just say that they come and did not come and get a certificate. So I hope you can work with us on that. So wait until close to the end. You'll get the certificate link, the survey link, and you'll get a certificate from there. Okay, our next presenter is Mrs. Dorothy Gail Thompson, and she is the project implementation manager at eLearning Jamaica, and she's joined with Miss Ivorine Coley Allison, and she is the service assurance manager. I'm going to ask Mrs. Dorothy Gail Thompson to come on now, and we'll get Miss Ivorine to be with her on here as well. So, Miss Thompson, are you on?
Unmute. Yes. Are you hearing me,
Yes.
everyone?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Live.
Can you just share that presentation?
Oh, I'm sharing your screen. I thought I was the backup.
Yeah, just
All right.
having some challenges. So.
Oh, no problem. No
All
problem.
right. Good evening, everyone. It's really good to be here, our second year. And thanks to Dr. Dice for inviting us. And we're really happy to be here to share with you what we have been doing here at eLearning Jamaica Company Limited. And for those who are on this workshop for the first time, just a quick review. And as Dr. Dye said, we have here a team member, Ivorine Coley Allison, who will be speaking to us about the broadband access that is in the schools or being implemented by the government of Jamaica. And I'm happy to see Mr. Mackenzie from Ocho-Rios High, who is a recipient of the technology that we have been implementing in the schools. eLearning Jamaica Company Limited is an agency, is a government agency, and we are part of the Ministry of Science, Energy, Transportation, and Technology. And we have been around now for 20 years. And our aim when the organization was formed was to implement technology in all the schools in Jamaica. So we have been around now for 20 years. And in celebrating our 20 years, our theme this year is 20 years of innovation and digital transformation, powering EdTech in Jamaica. And two major things that will be happening, and one went on in February 25, is in collaboration with the University of the West Indies, we created a training lab, and this was unveiled in February 25. And this is a technology lab to help teachers to infuse the technology in the classroom. And another major activity in February 26th will be our ICT in Education Conference. And we're inviting all of you. We'd love to see all of you at this conference if you can make it. And I'm sure Dr. Dice will be there. And just a little pictorial presentation next, showing our wonderful nice gala awards function that we had for our 20th anniversary. Now, our next slide will be showing you just a video on this new Ignite Hub, we call it, that was created at the University of the West Indies to help teachers in infusing the technology while they are at university. And not only that, they will have various training and courses as the years go by. So just give you a little peek into what we have done.
It is said that every great initiative begins with a bold vision.
We will be unveiling a state-of-the-art facility to enable innovative growth in next-gen instruction and technology education, the Ignite Hub.
eLearning Jamaica remains at the forefront of the transformation of education in Jamaica through the application of technology in our classroom.
The Ignite Hub will be heavily utilized for training of teachers in state-of-the-art use of technologies in education. As the University of the West Indies, this is the sort of work that we envision in terms of being the leaders in using technology in education.
Okay, so that was just a little peek into the opening, and there are some pictures here, with persons from University of the West Indies, the Minister of Education and Permanent Secretary, demonstration going on, and the Minister with our CEO, which he sent his apologies, he could not be here this evening. So just showing you some of the things that eLearning Jamaica Company Limited is doing in Jamaica with the schools. And just a little plug here in our next slide. eLearning Jamaica Company Limited was recognized by the Gleaner Company, the Gleaner Group, at their 45th Annual Group Awards, where we received an award in education technology for equipping thousands of teachers and students with ICT technologies across Jamaica. And we go into all levels, right to university level, including places like the libraries as well, in trying to bridge the gap in terms of technology and STEAM education in Jamaica. Now, to just give you a little overview of what we have been doing, these projects are a massive project. Where in 2007-8, we created labs in high schools. And of course, you know, it's no time for refurbishing. So we've refurbished all the labs and the colleges, because you see in the colleges, we have to ensure that the student teachers are also au fait with the technology that are going into the schools. Right now, our major thrust is for the primary and the infant level. And over 11,000 laptops have been distributed to schools in creating a lab there so students, teachers can use the technology. So far, we have done over 500 schools, along with other institutions such as the University Early Childhood Commission as well. Now, another initiative that we have started and will be continuing this year is we have also been given these schools at the different levels interactive boards as well as projectors. And of course, our special needs students, they are not left behind. We have been giving them specialized resources based on their needs, whether they are deaf or whatever the needs are. We do a needs assessment for these individual schools, and they have also been included in the various projects that we have been implementing across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And please note, we try not to leave out any school. All schools from city to country, from hills to valleys, all schools are included. I mean, if any Jamaicans are here and they say, oh, not my school, we're coming. Don't worry, we're coming. Project continues. And just some pictorial view here, because when we, in our next slide, we don't just leave the schools high and dry, especially when it comes to new equipment. We try to sensitize the teachers in how to use them and how to integrate them in the lessons. And you're looking at some of the presentations here. The one top right, we presented, some laptops to the University of Technology. So the lecturers will have a laptop so they can present their lessons. And in our next slide, one of the major thrusts that we are doing now, especially in the primary schools, we are also giving them some charging cards. Some of you may remember we had a major hurricane here in Jamaica last year, and some schools were damaged or badly damaged and still under repairs. And we don't want to leave them out to say, okay, you don't have a proper room to create a lab. So the students and the teachers can use the technology. So we're giving them charging cards so they can house the laptops in the meantime until the rooms are up and ready. Over 25,000 teachers so far have also been given vouchers to be able to redeem those for a laptop so they can use in the teaching and learning. And we're looking forward to, in the near future, to get some additional funding from the Ministry of Finance and Education in terms of for new teachers coming on who have not received their laptops as yet to help in their teaching and learning. And just to give you an overview, because we treat over 1,000 schools in Jamaica. My last count, I think, was 1,014 schools. So based on, funding, we are given a certain sum every financial year. So we try to give a little to every school for each financial year. And so we are still procuring some more laptops because we still have some primary and infant schools that are will be getting this school year, as well as some more projectors. Persons are clamoring for more projectors and also interactive screens, because so far we have given one screen per school. So each year we will be adding some more. And some other new features that are coming on this year is we are introducing coding and robotics, as well as we'll be getting some additional cards for schools, VR sets, and also we have partnered with British Council in doing coding using the microbit in the schools. And in working with the Ministry of Education and British Council, in our next slide, we are going more into STEAM education. That is a big talk now in terms of STEAM. So we're looking at approximately a 3-year initiative to help design and integrate the STEAM in the school curriculum to help in the teaching and learning, and for teachers to gain more skills in the digital world. Our next slide. And just to give an idea how we are looking at it, starting with coding for kids, we're looking at professional development along with the lines of the Jamaica Teaching Council, and this will be distributing the devices, and where we have training, and we're looking to have a code fest at the end of this pilot that will be introducing this year. We're also in the next slide going to our secondary level as well. And we have some schools that will be selected. And of course, we'll be doing online professional development, looking at some master training, teacher training workshops to help persons in the school to work with the STEAM resources that we will be given to them. And of course, we would have some challenge projects that we will be working with the schools during this academic year. In our next slide. So just giving you some more ideas how we're looking at a pilot that will start. We start with in terms of the robotics, starting with just one school in each region. First, we have 7 regions in Jamaica to start the pilot. And of course, we will be training the teachers. And at e-learning, we have an implementation officer for each region who will assist in terms of guidance, monitoring, and evaluation in terms of the robotics pilot that we're looking to start this year. Next slide. And this was during July, September, there's usually principal leadership conferences for back to school. And these were just some pictorial presentation where we did some presentation of showing teachers how to use the board and get them, getting them ready for the coming year. And of course, this teacher did pretty well, so she was rewarded with a gift at the conference. So I'll ask Mrs. Allison Coley, Averine Coley Allison, sorry. She is the person responsible for the broadband, and she'll be telling us about how is this broadband initiative that is being implemented by the government of Jamaica around the island to ensure that schools have the internet access to be able to help with this teaching and learning. Avery?
Yes, good evening, everyone, and all protocol observed as we continue to share the work that we at e-learning have continued to do in Jamaica. So we can move on to the next slide. So you would have heard the number of equipment, the number of technology that we would have implemented in schools. And really the true value to the country and to education would be the supporting internet access for the use of these equipment. And so the government has started what is called the National Broadband Initiative. And the aim is to ensure that the island has access to internet, every community, every school, every police station. And so out of that initiative, we have what is called the MOE SYI Broadband Internet Project. And the project is a collaboration between the Ministry of Education, MSET, which is the ministry that e-learning falls under, and National Work Agency, eGov Jamaica, and USF. These are some of the agencies that come together, and what they're doing is to upgrade broadband in public schools, faster, more reliable internet service, and to improve Wi-Fi connectivity across school compounds, and to just strengthen the ICT infrastructure security and reliability. And so what is the role of e-learning? So we provide help desk service support to schools and implement technology support strategy to maximize the project's benefit. And pretty much the goal is to optimize broadband performance to enable the ICT integration and technology-driven teaching and learning. And so we continue to support this initiative. Next slide. So to date, we have actually installed 752 connections, internet connections in 724 schools. And the providers there are widespread. We have fixed wireless, Starlink, Flow, and what we have is call it the GovNet, which is facilitated under NWA, and we also have vendor IslandNet who provides services. Now, what is our function? Everybody knows that technology have their issues, and so we are the first point of contact for schools, troubleshooting and low-level technical support, escalation of issues to the various parties that are responsible for resolution, and monitoring performance and providing feedback. So in a nutshell, we have not just implemented the connections in the school. We provide a support that once the internet goes offline, there is a group of persons who are monitoring and escalate the issues. And so what we provide is a tiered support strategy. And in the first tier, 0 tier, what we do is self-help. So the schools have access to self-help. The school has access to self-help, right? And they're able to go on, access our troubleshooting manual and be able to identify issues. We have noted over the years that we have been supporting these projects that we do have incidents in school where you have unplugging, you have electrical issues and so on. So before there's a truck roll to get to the school has an opportunity to access this information and be able to conduct their own troubleshooting before they reach out to us. And if they go to the self-help and there's no support there, then tier 1, a ticket is actually created, and the help desk agent actually takes on the issue and bring it to tier 4. So that process includes remote troubleshooting, escalation where it is necessary, and site visits, deeper issue investigation, and so on. And the aim is to ensure that our clients, the internet is restored as soon as possible. In terms of, may we just go back a little? All right, so in terms of the school has more than one medium to report the issue. Support line, we do have a help desk line, by email, online portal as well, by SMS and our corporate website. And so we provide support through this medium to our schools. Next slide. Now, one of the challenges was that the internet, if I may use the word, landed in the school, but there were challenges in terms of the coverage. And so the Wi-Fi project was implemented as a phase 2 to the MOEY broadband. And what it is that it is providing pretty much coverage and some other things that we will talk about. So to date, we have 379 schools that it has been completed, fully implemented. Access points are placed at strategic points throughout the school. There is firewall for network protection and network controllers, a management switch, right? So that we are able to ensure that we're able. So what does it offer? Distribution, enable reliable internet across the campus. We do have a failover service. So in the case where we have more than one internet connections, and that is a part of the project. The fixed wireless is a part of the project, that in the case that the other service, there's an issue, then there's a failover with the hope that schools will have reduced outages. And there is unification and aggregation of services. So if we have more than one services, is aggregated and distributed across the school. And most importantly, the content filtering, which is crucial for the schools in terms of managing the students' access to harmful and inappropriate website, gambling, or adult content, right? So to promote safe browsing. And so once, I just want to say that we have what is called the Vivid platform that is used to manage the internet. And what it is, it allows the school to be able to see exactly what is happening. And we know that CXC is going online, the whole capability to have students registering their devices, to control the number of persons on it, to control the bandwidth, because you don't want particular persons or group of persons using up the bandwidth. So the Vivid platform allows for just management, monitoring and management of the project. And so this is pretty much what is needed for our schools across Jamaica. We've had challenges with distribution of the internet service and the usage as well. And so we continue to provide support. There are 700 plus schools that are currently being, this project is contracted to complete. And so all 1,073 schools in Jamaica will be outfitted with the one project. And so we are very excited that this is happening for our schools to ensure that the technology that is provided through e-learning has the internet that is required so that they can use the applications and whatever it is that they use to bring across education. So pretty much that's
yeah. That's very good. Very, very good. All right. Thank you, Miss Ivorine Coley Allison, and also Mrs. Gail Thompson. Yes, very, very good.
All right, thank you.
Okay. You're most welcome. It's always a pleasure having you on and to share the information with not just Jamaica, but I see comments from other countries as well that they want to adopt the same principle as it relates to technology distribution. So it's very good that we're sharing ideas and resource ideas as well.
Okay,
It's very good. Yeah, thank you so
Thank-
much. It's always a pleasure, Miss Thompson.
thank you.
Yeah. Everyone, it's been a real pleasure to have you on. And I want to thank you individually for participants. I want to say thank you though to our presenters and our presidents. We have quite a few of them. President of the JTA, Mr. Mark Malarva, President of the Caribbean Union of Teachers, Miss Mrs. Sharon Clifton Kelsick, and she's the president of the Caribbean Union of Teachers. And I also want to thank Mr. Scott from, well, he is based in St. Lucia, but he's the president of the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. He's just starting his tenure there for that association, and he's going to do a wonderful job across the region. And I want to give a special thank you to our presenters, Mr. Mikhail Mackenzie, as well as Dr. Noel Gordon and Mrs. Dorothy Gail Thompson, and along with Miss Ivorine, who just came on just to give that first time I'm meeting her. Just it won't be the last time. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to get down to business because many of us want to have our certificate as part of our portfolio. So I'm gonna drop the certificate link in the chat, and you are going to fill the certificate out. And not certificate, sorry, the link. You're going to fill the survey for this presentation. I'll just fill it out and you will get your certificate. Just give it maybe a few hours for it because it's very overloaded with people. All right, so let's drop this in the chat. This is for the certificate. Fill it out to your best of knowledge. And thank you guys for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our website, and you will get information on upcoming events and workshops. People who are on YouTube, please do not worry. You're going to get the link too. So the people who are on YouTube, we're going to drop it in the chat as well. Please fill it out and you will have your certificate. Make sure you fill it out by tomorrow morning. If you can, do it now. Fill it out by tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Jamaica time or 10 a.m. Eastern time, and you will have your certificate. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I wish you all the best for the start of the new school year. And for those of us who are in Jamaica, I wish you all the best with the national elections. Vote for policy and uplifting of our people. We didn't even talk about getting rid of colonial education across the region. We're going to feature that in our upcoming conferences. There's a plug here for the first ever Caribbean Regional Men in Education Conference. This is a regional Men in Education Conference, and it's happening in St. Vincent from the 19th to the 21st of November of this year. It's the first of its kind, and it won't be the last. ESI is partnering with the Caribbean Union of Teachers as well as the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School, and we are putting that on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that's happening, I'm repeating, that's happening on November 19th, full days, November 19th to the 21st. And that is going to be a blast for the men in education. So if you have some men in your island or country or region or wherever in the US and elsewhere, they can prepare themselves to come to that conference. It's going to be a real blast. We are going to send out the information as well in our network. And that would be our launch and the first. It's actually starting on International Men's Day. So that's a very special thing for our men in education. So spread the word that it will be out soon, the flyer. Okay. Some people said that the link is not working. I wonder why. Okay, let's check on that. The link should be working. Excuse me. All right, let's try. All right, I will get on that. Yeah, okay, let's fix it. Okay, we'll get it fixed. It should, I don't think you should be asking for, all right, I'll get on it. All right, don't worry, everybody, we'll get on it. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you.